everyone. Hello and thanks for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozugbakun. Today on the program, PDP presidential aspirants reject consensus, insist on primary as party confirms dates for presidential other primaries. Lagos House of Assembly denies threatening. Ambode with impeachment as 3 aspirants battle for Lagos governorship. And later on the show, federal government gives conditions for payment of the balance of the Paris Club refund to states. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Dari Odufowokon. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Many thanks for joining us once again. These are not coziest seasons for the opposition People's Democratic Party, with months trickling down to weeks before the 2019 presidential poll. The issue of a flag bearer appears to be a bridge too far for the PDP. An all-important meeting in Abuja held at the private residence of Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, who doubles as the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, had no less than 11 heavyweight contenders in attendance. The vexed question of a consensus candidate was rejected by many of the hopeful, and the PDP has fixed October the 5th for the presidential primary and 26th for the governorship primary election. Babajide, we started this series yesterday and we're looking at the possibility of, getting a consensus candidate between these heavyweights. And when you want to look at it, we identify that there are more heavyweights wanting to clinch the tickets of the People's Democratic Party than what you have in direct opposite is what you have in the All Progressive, within the All Progressive Congress. So when you look at these people, and do you think the gospel of consensus will ever appeal to an Atiku Abubakar, a Bukola Saraki, Aminu Tambuwa, the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, and the former governor of Kaduna State, and the one-time trustee chairman, that's Ahmed McCarthy? These people, they are all sure that they've made their mark, and the present governor of Gombe State at a point in time, and that they are very good, as good as anybody.
Former Minister of Special Duties.
Former Minister of Tanimu Turaki, and we also not forgetting the former governor of Plateau State, that's Jonah Jang, saying that he can't step down for anybody.
And General David Mark.
General Bonaventure David Mark.
Brigadier
General David Mark. That's the former Senate president. And he's from the Middle Belt. So.
Yeah, you see, I'm not surprised that the proponents of consensus arrangement within the PDP have hit a dead end. Because consensus by nature, when you have it discussed in Nigeria, what comes to your mind is that it is an attempt at imposition. Because most times, some individuals will have made up their minds that they want to use Ayo Zubaku. They will pluck Ayo Zubaku out of the multitude. They will now say they will get others to rally around that candidate. And then Ayo Zubaku goes on to win the election. It is usually, that person is usually the choice of a few. And then a few make the majority support the candidate, candidate of a few. Either because they have the power, they have the power to do so, they have the clout, they have the war chest, so they'll find a way to just say, okay, let's have consensus. You begin to talk about consensus, but they have a particular person in mind. It's just like in those days when the government of Olusegun Obasanjo talks about an intervention fund for a sector. They already have the person that they want to give that money in mind. So everyone will be talking about an intervention fund. The intervention fund comes. It is for the aviation sector, for example. It does not go to a Chachangi who used to be market leader, who had a history of successfully running the airline business without an accident. You do not give him the intervention fund. You go ahead and give Jimo Ibrahim.
With no track record.
Somebody without an enviable record in that sector. You see the point that I'm making. So the consensus thing, as long as the idea is usually muted by a few for their own personal interest, and then they get others to, in some cases, force others to abide by their decision. So it is the height of Baba Sokwe when Baba Sokwe, then others are intimidated and told, no, don't leave this guy, wait for your turn.
As our governor is doing in Ogun State.
Yes, it is the somebody. You know what someone said that it is the philagogoroism. That's the new name that they gave that brand of consensus that doesn't work. That even someone within the cabinet is saying, no, I'm going to.
You are saying with consensus.
What is consensus? Consensus does not necessarily mean unanimity. They don't mean, those words don't mean the same thing. So that people have agreed, okay, these things, usually they are blackmailed to agree. So this is the thing. The other, everyone knows, everyone who is perceptive, who is good at analyzing political matters in Nigeria, knows that the PDP presidential primaries will be a tight race. I mean, all the signs are there. It will be a tight race. The candidates are strong in their own right. Where you have an article with fantastic war chests, because amongst them all is the one with the biggest war chest. And you have him, but you have a Kwankwaso from the Northwest. Northwest has so much to play for. And you see in him someone who also has called for followership. So you are tempted.
That's the enclave of President Buhari.
Yes, you are tempted to go for that kind of person so that I can help you take some of the votes that Buhari ordinarily would take away. So it is a tempting and a tantalizing proposition. This primary, the presidential primary of the PDP, and then you have others like Tambua. Look, if today victory should go to the person who has gone around the most, who has been appealing to people the most, honestly, it has to be Samino Kabiru Turaki. Because Tanimu Kabiru Turaki has gone to virtually every part of Nigeria seeking the support of people. There are a few of the PDP delegate contenders, presidential aspirants. What they are doing is their own campaign is at the zonal level, geopolitical zone level. But Samino Turaki is going around every state. I know because the correspondents are filing stories about his meeting with this person, with that person. But of course, you know that
when I'm doing my first three, it might not readily be in my first three.
Ordinarily, no, it's not likely to be there. It's not likely to be there. There are other variables will come into determining who wins this thing. Where will the governors go? I always say, where will the governors go? Will they back one of their own?
That's the most strategic.
Will they back one of their own? Because the Dankwabo clearly has not moved around as much as
I've not seen Dankwabo in the Southwest.
And you cannot say that Dankwabo is as popular as Kwankwaso. But who will the weak case of this world, with the war chest at their disposal, who will they back?
Having the structure of the party.
Who will they back? So that is the because whoever they back, maybe they made a promise to McCarthy for saving the party from perdition and ensuring that Obasanjo's doomsday prophecy did not come to pass. Maybe they will change because of that.
They went to go and remove Tambua.
Or even a Tambua. When you look at Tambua appears calm. He has not really moved around much.
Have you seen them
No.
No, so it looks like someone who has a joker,
A coronation.
just waiting for the right time to drop.
So we don't know.
Card. So we don't know, but it is a very, very interesting race. Just looking at it, it looks like a very, very interesting race.
That a lot of things for APC is going to be a boring presidential primaries.
Yeah, of course.
However, the figure, whatever they want to bring across the country, we know that they almost have a candidate. It might just be a formality. Yeah. But for PDP, there's everything to play for.
I will simply start by saying it is PDP's loss, APC's gain, as it is. PDP sort of cut off its own nose to spite its face. They wanted to derobe or deplete APC. So they took in as many people who were willing to jump ship. But in the process, they sort of, heightened the tension in their own camp for the ticket of the president. Their party presidential ticket. Because with the likes of Atiku, Saraki, Kwankwanso, Tambuwa, and leaving APC simply because they want to go to PDP to contest the presidency. Two things happened. Their movement made the job easy for APC to settle for its obvious presidential choice, President Muhammadu Buhari. What was left were a motley of very young presidential candidates.
Grumbling
here and there, but it was easy. I'm saying it will be easy for APC leaders to pacify them by simply saying the age is still on your side.
Yes.
And that settles their own case.
You still have time.
You still have time. But for the likes of Saraki, who wants to add 20 years to their age before the rotation will come back, they are in a hurry. And they have to go to where the ticket is available now.
And then Atiku sees this as his last
opportunity. Sule Lamido has made it clear that his last time out. And many of them like that. So for them, it's it's nearly a do or die situation. And also looking at the structure, the current component of PDP, it's really funny. It's a party where you have pockets of power plays. The governors waiting to see how it goes. The BOT, the membership. Now, for the governors now, this last meeting exposed the divide even among them. They may not be able to settle for one person. It is their inability within themselves to agree on a choice that led to this stalemate. Okay. If they had agreed on a choice, I know through sources that out of the governors, some are very, very particular about their fulfilling their promise to McCarthy. We told him this. Let's be honorable.
If there's anything that word.
Honor. Yeah. At the same time, the spirit of esprit they call is playing a very vital role in favor of Dan Kwabo. A lot of them are looking at, he's amenable, he's one of us. He's been around for so long. Don't let's make the mistake. Don't let's give, according to them, don't let's give the presidency to somebody who will take over the party from us. They also have ambitions. We have governors from the southwest, governors from the southeast and south amongst them. 2023 is a factor in all these things you are saying.
Politicians.
A man who will be there and be willing to have me succeed in. These are permutations. So a lot of it are currently going on.
Let me quickly take this commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay with us. It's going to be the Game of Thrones within the People's Democratic Party, and we have like 14 aspirants. That's massive. Ultimately, one person will emerge as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party come the 6th of October. And it's instructive that the INEC timetable, according to the INEC timetable with me, the deadline for submission of names will be 7th of October. So the People's Democratic Party will be dancing on the very, very you know, tight corner, and they must produce one person that's on the 6th of October so that they can submit their names
24 hours
before that minute.
And they must do it in a way that does not precipitate the implosion of the party. Because everyone is waiting.
Well, that's a big task for them.
The way they handle the presidential primaries will determine the future of the
I wanted to ask you, because we discovered that some of them have like Plan B. Some are going for the presidential ticket. At the same time, they've taken Senate. Some have gone for presidential ticket. At the same time, they've taken the governorship.
Yes.
And if I take your mind back to 2014, when Rochas Okorocha, he wanted to become the president, and he used his in-law, this Uche Nwosu, to get the gubernatorial ticket, and immediately lost to President Buhari. Uche Nwosu had to write to INEC officially, and he came back to collect his ticket.
Interested.
Now, do you think those people, because the way they are talking is as if it's a fight to finish, that I'm the one that can defeat President Buhari. But if you want to have a plan B, does it show that, because somebody like Atiku Abubakar, I know there's no plan B. I know you want to be the president, but I don't know, maybe he's going to go to another party to actualize that dream.
No, he said something that he has never, on account of losing the presidential primary, joined another party, to work for another party. That's what he said. He said he has never done that. And it's on record that this last time he remained. You know, when they lost the primaries in the PDP, he didn't immediately defect to go and work for the rival party. He may defect later. So
when
that's the point that he's making. Then then in 2014, December 2014, he also didn't leave immediately, although they wrote an undertaking. They signed an undertaking that they will not.
Instead, you might not have participated in all the rallies,
PDP
but
has also
attended one or two rallies.
PDP has also introduced that to ensure that these people do not defect immediately after the primary. But the only guarantee to ensure that doesn't happen is the fidelity of the process. If it is free and fair, then you will not leave. But if you feel cheated, chances are that you will want to leave to join another party.
Let me quickly pick this call. Benga is calling us from Abuja.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Benga. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening to the gentlemen there.
Good evening.
Yes, you see, the problem in the primary of PDP is not only about the consensus candidate. One of the governors, who is one of the key kingmakers in PDP, alleged that APC is sponsoring some presidential aspirants. Then who are they? Because when those people came in, they welcomed them, they rolled the drum, they shout on the top of the roof that they have conquered this, with this one they will defeat APC. Why are they not complaining that they are sponsored? So that shows that there is an underground current, something that happened underground. There is too much somewhere there. And if it's not handled very well, the outbreak will scatter everywhere. It's a volcano that we're up after the primary. Some are already planning to jump to other parties because they are desperate and they want to get the ticket by all means. It's beyond the consensus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benga, for that vital. Yes, Governor Wilson Wike actually said that. Do you believe that?
I think that, you see, part of the problem of the PDP that makes you sometimes ask yourself, that is this really a serious party, is the fact that you have PDP governors always praising President Buhari to high heavens. You can like a president. You can like a president, no doubt about it. If he has impressed you, he's the president of the whole Nigeria. You can like him. You can show respect to him. But if at all times you just want to do eye service, you'll be praising the president, and he belongs to a different party, then people will think that your future is in the APC. And many people will think, oh, these guys, in no time, they will eventually end up there. You must have seen some stories where people are saying, the governor of Cross River will end up in APC. Some are even saying Ebonyi will end up in APC. Some are saying even the governor of Akwa Ibom, because there was even a story that he said he wanted to join the APC. So as long as they have such characters in their party, There's no way people like Wike won't be thinking along this line, because I know Wike is referring to a particular presidential candidate who in the past is known to have praised President Buhari to high heavens. But today he wants President Buhari's job on the platter of the PDP. So is that person that Wike is referring to? He didn't mention his name, but I know the person that he's referring to.
Yeah, that is an import.
I know the person that he's referring to. So when they stop praising the president and concentrate on being an effective opposition party, then people won't be coming up with this kind of speculative stories about the intentions of their own people and all that. Because he just cast the PDP and some of his leading lights as unserious people.
Dari, finally on this, I think it's going to be very interesting from now till October 6th, when we shall be seeing a lot of fireworks. Somebody like the Senate President, Bakar Saraki, has even launched a campaign, Dr. Donyo Kukwe, an advisory, strengthening his media team, you know, putting...
You just use the right word. It's going to be pretty interesting. Okay. A lot of strange bedfellows will come together to work to wrestle power from one another to emerge as the presidential candidate of the opposition party. But then for the party itself, like Jide said, the end must justify the means. If you fail to manage this, then I don't see PDP offering any opposition.
All right, moving forward now. Thank you, Dari. Moving forward now, the unbroken political succession plans in Lagos State witnessed a ripple when the social media exploded on Tuesday with rumors of the second-term dilemma of Governor Akinwumi Ambode. It was also speculated that the State House of Assembly is about to make a move for his removal. But the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, that's Musbah Razak, has flatly dismissed the speculation that the number 3 man, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, is acting on orders from above. In that regard, he insists that the relationship between his boss and the governor, in his words, is smooth and solid. Smooth and solid. However, entry of 2 dark horses into the governorship race is also suggesting a possible frosty relationship between the governor and APC national leader, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The budding stars are a presumed frontrunner, that's Jide Sanwo-Olu, former Commissioner for Establishment, and Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, that's former Commissioner for Science and Technology, both under Bola Ahmed Tinubu in that administration. Babajide, in the last 48 hours, I can't remember the number of calls I've received, and people, you know, as if I'm Haruna Habib, as if I'm the Chief Press Secretary to Governor to Governor Ambode and everything. But it's clear now. 3 months to the primaries. It's not 3 months. We just have few days to the primary. I want to raise a poser. Governor Ambode has not been officially endorsed by the de facto leader of the party, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember in 2014, it was some months to the presidential primaries. I mean, in 2011, it was some months, some weeks to the governorship primaries, that in spite of the acrimony then between the former governor Raji Fashola and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I was still in Acme that particular day, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu raised his hand for a second term in office. Okay. I was told by my control room that let me just take this breather. Don't worry, we're still going to talk about it. Let's pay these bills. We'll come after this time out. Please stay with us. Is Akinwumi Ambode's second term in office threatened in any way? Babajide Kolade, Otitoju.
Yes, no doubt about it. And what really baffles me is how a man who, like 3 months ago, looked like his re-election had been secured, suddenly has from within his party 2 distinguished and qualified persons gunning for his position. I can tell you that if it was 5-6 months ago, this would not have happened. Because 6 months ago, we had a deluge of endorsements by different voting blocks within the party.
Strong blocks.
So how
chairman.
this suddenly happened is what really baffles me. But I don't think that it is also wrong to allow what has happened to happen, because it is within the rights of the members of the party to decide to gun for that position. Ultimately, what I'm saying is that Tinubu as a person or anyone in the party should not foreclose the chances of other people within the party from contesting that seat or even any other seat for that matter. Because this is democracy. If people think that they are good enough, Amzat has come out, if it thinks that it's good enough for that position, then nobody
and I think they're talking about direct primaries. So
nobody should stop him from contesting. If Jide Sanwo-Olu has come out and he thinks it's good enough to contest against somebody, nobody should stop them from contesting. It is the beauty of democracy. I think that at the end of the day, whatever happens, because in politics, I've learned not to rule anything in, not to rule anything out. Whatever happens would be the best thing to happen for our democracy. At the end of the day, the will of the people will prevail. It is the people who we choose. Because we are saying now that direct primaries, yes, will happen in Lagos. It puts power in the hands of the ordinary voter. If you are a card-carrying member of the APC and you also have your PVC, because both go together, then you become an elector. Contrary to what we used to have in the past, where we had a few delegates who speak or take a decision for the rest of the party. So this will make our democracy stronger. Parties have to be strong. Parties have to be well run. And people who are elected must also show profound respect to the party. Because if this direct primary thing, if it sits well with the APC and it becomes the model to follow, then it means that whoever is elected, he knows that it is the generality of the members of the party that is accountable to, and then it will serve them. It will serve them, it will not undermine them. It will serve them, it will not treat them like people who do not deserve respect. So this is the way I see this. And I'm happy that Governor Ambode has said he has no rifts with Tinubu. He said that he has no rifts with the party leadership, and that he even took part in the primaries, the Congress in Ekpe today, where he prayed for the future of the party. So it's a good thing that Musbah Razak, the spokesman of the Speaker, has come out to say...
Because this social media, you just see fake news.
There may be...
They set to impeach...
See, there are disagreements. Disagreements are part of politicking. You can't always agree. You can't even have a political leader that every time his political godson will always agree with him. But when there are disagreements, people must be able to come together and resolve their differences. Because when you resolve your differences, tomorrow you become stronger, and then you want to work with one another. But if those differences are allowed to remain, then the gulf becomes wider, and both of you don't want to say hi to eye anymore. So it's a good thing that he has come out, that Musbah came out. Yes, they've had issues.
Our short friend.
Yes, that's my boy. You know, they've had issues between themselves, especially over Visionscape. Because I remember the Speaker of Lagos State House during the interactive session that I had, I think in June or July, saying that as far as they are concerned, Visionscape is not known to Lagos law. They have their disagreement with the governor, no doubt about it. But it cannot get to the point that you want to impeach the
For
governor.
what?
For what now? What has he done? As people can see, he has done well as governor of this state in terms of infrastructure especially. So there's no plan to impeach the man, and I'm happy that they've come out to say that.
To debunk that. But Femi Hamzat, fantastic person, as in intelligent. He was the Minister, Commissioner of Science and Technology under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember those innovations under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He ran against Akinwumi Ambode in 2015, if you in their primaries. Yeah, that's Onikon Stadium. I remember. He's a member of Justice Forum. The father is a very active man in within APC Justice Forum. I think he had 1,300 something votes. He gave this thing a good run for his money because it was the closest.
Good fight.
Yes, it was a good fight because he has people sympathetic to their own block of Justice Forum in the party. Now it's coming back now. And a lot of people will tell you that it's coming back with the backing of the Abuja boys.
And I'll quickly add Sanwo-Olu to that.
No, I wanted to profile Sanwo-Olu separately.
You see, like the introductory part of this topic said, we have two equally qualified aspirants seeking Governor Ambode's job. No, nobody who has been following the politics of APC will forget Hamzat in a hurry. At the time when he was even given very little chance, he proved his mettle, and he's back now. And perhaps being joined by somebody of Sanwo-Olu's pedigree, help spread that rumor of a possible disagreement between the national leader of the party and the governor. You see, I've said this before, I want to repeat it. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is somebody I don't envy when it comes to times like this. In 2007, he was castigated for endorsing Fashola. Yes. Some said too early in the race.
He said he will not fly.
Yeah, he will not fly. Oh, he had
cabinet members.
He should
pulling out, coming to address a press conference and briefs him at the airport hotel.
He should play father to all. In 2015, it tarried a while before coming out and saying, okay, looking at all these people, Ambode may not be a bad idea. He was still condemned for pitching his tent. Now, perhaps, you see, the way I see this thing is a man who, being the leader he is, learns from every development. He may have decided that, okay, and he said this at his last appearance at ACME here, that he is not going to endorse any candidate. All of you will have to go and seek your mandate now. He said, he used to seek your mandate from party members so that you will always be accountable to them. Perhaps this is his style of saying, I want to stand by my words. Who is contesting? Governor Akinwumi Ambode. He has done very well. Hamzat is a party member. Sanwo-Olu is also welcome. They are all my children. Let the race begin. And he has kept quiet. And surprisingly, again, people are saying, he's allowing Ambode to be challenged. So sometimes I ask myself, what exactly will this man do that he will be praised for all around? You see, the situation in the party today, in my own opinion, is good for democracy. It is good for them in the sense that now, nobody would say Ambode was imposed on us by his godfather if he eventually picks the ticket. And if he doesn't, nobody would say the eventual winner was prevented from winning an election he would have won because he has the support of the party. Okay. Let the best candidate emerge. Yeah. Okay. Let the people, the party members decide. Yeah. And they are all, for me, it's
before
the best
we round
way
up
to
on
go.
this now, a lot of people will expect that, okay, this program is just like a compass for them to get exactly what is happening. Jide, we can't hide behind one finger to say all is well. That there's no rifts. They are going for the normal primaries, and the normal thing is that after somebody would have been said to have done one term, it deserves another term, as in Nigerian parlance. That yes, he has done well.
One good time.
One good time deserves another. What could be the problem that a person of Jide Sanwo-Olu, led by the likes of the chairman of Mandates Group, Babaito and Co., coming to endorse him and say, look, Mandates Group is one of our own and everything. That really raised a lot of dust, that video.
Yeah, you see, I think if we must tell ourselves the truth, because whether we say the truth or we don't say it, the funny people out there on social media, they will still give you their version of the truth. And it's their version of the truth that they will accuse you of not saying. You know, so this is the thing. Oh, this, because they've told him not to talk. Tinubu tells them what to say. Such nonsense. He has never called anybody to say this. But the truth is, there is tension within the APC. Tension between party leaders at the grassroots and the governor especially. For many of them, they think that the governor has not reached out enough to them.
Or carry them along.
Or carry them along sufficiently. I won't say has not carried them along. Carry them along sufficiently. So what is sufficiently now is defined by them. So the governor has to, it's like these are two extremes. You have to move. You as the governor, you are seeking their mandate. Yeah. Let me tell you.
They make the party.
Let me tell you what a former governor told me. He said, after his first term, he saw that it makes no sense to disrespect party leaders, party supporters, because on election day, he saw some of them brave the odds. He saw some of them put their lives on the line. So once you are elected with what they want from you, you have to do, you must do your best to make them happy because they are your foot soldiers.
You went out
on election day, they are the ones who go out to defend the vote. If anyone wants to snatch the ballot, they are the ones who go to ensure that it doesn't happen. They defend the vote with their lives. So they deserve something better. If, you know, somebody has never been a politician, this is perhaps a learning curve. So if you have people like Babaito and the rest of them, and they have genuine grievances, all he needs to do is reach out to them because you need them. You need them. People will say all kinds of things, that votes are on the streets, this and that.
Who goes to gather the vote?
On election day, you need organization. Yeah. And the structures of a party, the structures provide direction. Yeah. The structures implement and ensure that
the votes go in a particular direction.
On election day, they ensure that the party carries the day. Yeah. You cannot win an election simply by sympathy, by the sympathy of the people. Because the organization that you have, that's why some parties, you saw that it happened even in Ondo the other day. Yeah. Yeah. If you come into a new party, and you don't have structures, you're already disadvantaged.
Honestly.
So that is
on election day, because you don't have agents to put on the polling units.
The Americans have something you call get out the vote. On election day, they will go out and be mobilizing people to vote. It's very crucial. That is where you need your committed party men and women. And you see some of these people, honestly, if they have complaints, those complaints have to be addressed. Because they give so much to ensure that the party prevails. So this is the truth. If you see big party men like Babaito aligning with someone who has just arrived on the scene, it suggests that there is tension. It suggests that all is not well. I am not, we are not politicians. I'm not a card-carrying member of APC. So whatever other people say, this is my own reading of what is going on. And for all of them, including Ambode, Sanwo-Olu, they still have a chance. Reach out to the people who will make the decisions.
Yes.
Reach out to them. It's not a situation that is not redeemable. Reach out to them and tell them that the future will be better. That way, you can win. So it is the one among them, it is the one who is able to reach out the most and sell his plan to the party men and women, because you must get through your party to contest. You must get through your party.
Beyond the bigger picture.
You must get through your party. And you know, we said it here that We have seen governors who left their party to go and contest on trial on that party, and they didn't win.
Yeah, they did not win.
Dinoju in Anambra,
went to AG.
Mala Kachala
Also went to AG.
Borno State.
They both lost.
Timothy Silva.
And then also, there is this
Because the structures of the party that they had,
they left. We didn't go with them. So there is also the
leave the party
possibility
is not an
that
option.
this announcement of direct primary is also encouraging more people to show interest in seeking the ticket. So that's also a factor that could be responsible for this.
No, especially people like Amzat. Amzat would think that it's very strong.
If I am strong,
Well, if I'm through the delegate, I can get this kind of vote. Then through the direct primary, I can get more votes.
The more reason why I'm saying this is good for democracy.
It's good for democracy.
So he goes there, he loses, he knows that, they didn't vote for me.
All right.
If he wins,
Okay.
it's the choice.
Okay, let me quickly take this break, and we'll be right back after this time. And please stay with us. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. And states in Nigeria are expecting more largesse from the Paris Club refund, a partial settlement of a long-standing claims relating to the excess deductions from the Federation accounts payments to external debt service between 1995 to 2002. We have witnessed earlier release of various sums of the federal government on 2 occasions to states. The bill to bail them out. But a number of these states are still immersed in embarrassing debts, mostly salaries. A third tranche totaling $2.69 billion is about to be released to states. But the federal government is adding some binding conditions like payment of salaries and clearing of all arrears owed workers. These are not unfair conditions, gentlemen. Now, first of all, some governors are claiming that the federal government is not meant to give them any condition because this is something that is their money, that they should not be giving them, in the true sense of federalism, that they shouldn't be giving conditions, that whatever they like, they do with their money. Now, why will you be giving me a condition to what is mine? And the federal government, you know, maybe in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's nature of, you know, always telling the governors, please let us settle salary, let us prioritize this salary thing and pension arrears and everything. You have to make sure you clear this backlog. Babajide, where are we here?
It's, as much as I subscribe to the idea of giving what belongs to the states to them. I still think that some of these states have shown embarrassing lack of commitment to workers' welfare. And you know, the president complained during one of his meetings with traditional rulers that they should help him beg the governors. That he came up with bailout funds with the intention of helping them to clear the backlog of salaries.
Pensions.
But a lot of these governors divert the money to infrastructure. You know, we've talked about a governor who clearly was not even owing any salary. Yet he went and collected the bailout. And that bailout at that time, the first one that the president came up with, the Paris Club refund is not a bailout. That first bailout that the president came up with, you know,
it's a borrowing.
it was, yes, it's a loan. It was meant only for those who were owing salaries. And we had this governor who was not owing any salary. But he wangled his way in Abuja, and they gave him money. And after they gave him the money, he now wrote to the House of Assembly in the state that they should permit him to use the money to fix infrastructure, building guest hostel in schools, this and. I mean, it's wrong. Because the president said that only those owing. And you know, because of that, states like Anambra, states like Kwara,
they are not owing,
states
and
like Lagos, they didn't take because there was no need for it. Even Kano at that time, they did not take it. Because there was no need for it. You are not owing a salary.
And
you see, when you look at even the way they've managed the funds, Adeosun has been complaining that the way of these governors manage the budget support will determine whether they will be given the next time. She said it back then, that this is what we are seeing. They can't be spending the money recklessly in a manner that lacks transparency, and then they expect government to always come forward and give money. So if they can, honestly, in the interest of our long-suffering workers, if they can implement this, in fact, what would have been ideal is to first pay the salaries from the money.
And then give them the balance.
Pay the salary from the money and give the balance to them if there is any leftover.
No, they can't pay state.
Some of them,
It can be worked out. Where we are.
some of them are owing. You know, look at what they are saying, that the states are to show commitment to clear matching grants from the Universal Basic Education Commission.
And other
These
grants
guys,
like that.
And even some of them are owing WAEC. They are owing WAEC exam
And
fees.
results are being withheld.
Little monies like that, they can't pay. But they can spend so much money on elephant projects.
Building
bridges where they are not necessary.
Airports where,
You know?
where nobody
And you know
is
what?
flying.
You build a bridge. A bridge, the cost of building a bridge can even be the same as building a housing estate. Because it's all concrete. You are building bridges where they are not necessary.
Just for the purpose of
Building 10 lanes highway in places where there is really no vehicular traffic of such.
Two vehicles pass in
This
3
is the thing. They are not, these guys have to, if they are owing the federal government,
make the
the federal government has to find a way to take the money that they are owing as
the
part
civil
of the
servants.
conditions. Then they need to help the civil servants. You go to my former state and see people suffering. One old man, I was discussing with him, he said he doesn't know how much pension is being owed. But he knows,
lost count.
he said, but he knows that since Yabelo got to office, he has been paid only 3 times.
Yo, got a
to
record.
office.
Yes.
In 3 years, in almost 4 years,
Just 3 times.
3 months.
Just 3 times. So this is the thing. You can't watch people suffer like that and quarrel with what the conditionalities that the federal government has come up with.
Dari, when you want to look at these state governors, they will tell you that they were not elected to pay salaries alone. That they were not elected because of the civil servants, and some will tell you that the civil servants in their state is not up to, the 5% of the entire populace. That they have to attend to health sector, they have to attend to infrastructure, the roads, everything, and saying that so they must do other things apart from salaries. I've listened to those state governors saying that I was not elected to pay salaries alone. There are some other things that needs attention. Because when you look at it, what they get from Abuja, some of them use 85% of it to pay salaries.
You see, I've had governors say that, and rather than get angry with them, I've pitied them. Because these are people elected to attend to the needs of people. And they should understand how these things work before they get into such office. One of the easiest way of spreading the common patrimony is through the payment of salaries and pensions. Let us be realistic. When a worker takes his salary, it goes to the market. The moment workers are being owed, go to such states. Market women will complain because workers start buying on credit. Soon, the trader can no longer take the wares on credit from where he or she used to buy it. And then many businesses collapse. Cars spoil, belonging to civil servants, because they are being owed salary, they cannot take it to the technicians. People get hungry.
So, the cars.
They park down the cars, fuel, nobody is buying because the cars are parked, and people decide to trek long distance.
They will not able to operate their generator anytime NEPA takes
then so fuel stops. Generator repairer can no longer. Then, what the truth is, payment of salary is key. It makes the state's economy revolves. However, I agree with them. Other things must be done. But if these governors are actually doing things that are important, in the real sense of it, most of them embark on these projects because through that is one way of entering into the purse without too much suspicion. White Elephant projects.
Those bridges.
A bridge was commissioned in one of the south west states, and somebody in the same government after a little quarrel with the governor, said he went and stayed on that road for 3 hours and only 2 vehicles passed
On the bridge. And it must be very expensive.
And that's the same bridge where the state assembly had to go and sit and hold their session to commemorate the common sense that is in the so you discover that
stop shaking the table. We were talking generally before
I'm still talking
you narrowed your own.
I'm still talking generally because I'm going to somebody's new state and I begin to compare his new state with his old state and
But actually, looking at what I told to Dari, the experience of paying salaries, and at the same time, there was a time I was in Ondo State and the governor was like, yes, I've succeeded. That I asked the governor, how have you been able to pay salary since the crude oil prices and what you get in terms of IGR and everything? And I said, yes, he has succeeded to pay them regularly. Now they were now talking about leave bonuses.
It's not ready.
And they were saying they will want to embark on strike because they've been earning the salary. Now they've stretched the man.
the one I've done is not the only thing I can
to make a choice between regular
salary and clearance of leave. You see, that also calls on even the workers to be sympathetic with
and reasonable
with the current situation. You don't, if you get regular salary in your state, in the same country where some states have not paid in the last 18 months.
That's what Otom is doing now. Otom, from the beginning of the year, has been paying. But he has outstanding from the previous year.
Let's address the now.
So at least you can, every month now you can look forward to something. You see, from January now, you can look forward to something every month. But the one from last year,
people used to forget
maybe it will be hoping that they will forget it yet.
A governor called the workers and said, let's reach an agreement. I'll pay you only 60%.
50%. No, it's pension. You call pension. You say forget the
rest. We'll pay you only 50%.
No way. You can't forget.
So that's how bad this governors can be.
You see, the things like refuse evacuation are capital intensive. Roads, fixing roads,
maintenance.
So it is understandable what governors do now. All of those governors that go to take bond and all that, they use the bonds to execute contracts, build roads. So they will now use the distributable income from the federation account. They will now use that to settle salaries and all that. But it is postponing the evil day. Because the more you take those bonds,
the state is being indebted
back.
The debt stock will continue to mount.
It's rising, and some days it will boomerang.
But you see, politically, they
for
become
them,
protected.
they will get away with it.
They become protected because if you don't pay salaries, it is a time bomb.
As good as
They'll deal with you.
That's it. Thank you, Dario Odufawokon, for being part of our show today.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Babajide, we've done our job today.
Yes, sir.
We've tried our best, and that's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. And also watch Journalist Hangout on our other platforms showing on the screen. And we're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.